Hello and welcome to another stream with a team we've had before, led by Mod Osborne, but you're with a new name this week.
Yeah, we decided to go for a name. The ninjas were getting all the glory with
so
their cracking name.
We have the ninja team, it's a cool name, right? And everyone knows them, so you're like the lore hounds behind a lot of the quests and things like that, so you've gone with a
that seems to be how it's fallen. We've had a lot of story-oriented stuff. But we thought we want to be as cool as the ninjas, so we've decided that we are the Guardians. We are now the Guardians. And so you can decide which one of us is Groot.
Is that what you're going for?
No, it's just a cool word.
We have Mod Giara over there. He's also a part of the team.
You're Groot.
You'll see Groot later showing you some cool things in game.
That's it. Yeah.
But I'm Mod James, and I have with me. Do you want to introduce yourselves again?
I'm Mod Rowley, content developer.
Mod Stu, senior content developer.
And Mod Osborne, designer.
Cool. So, after the name, we have the schedule on screen. It should be on screen right now. We're going over some really, really cool things today, starting off with the player imports, which we're going to give you the release date for. And then we'll be heading into the 200th quest, a big one. We won't be doing any spoilers. We never do spoilers for the quest and the storyline. We will show you some cool little teasers of some art, some graphics and things like that as well. And I believe we're going to be showing some environment as well.
Yeah, we're going to do kind of a tour, hopefully.
And then we're going to jump into a weird one, aquariums.
Yes.
So, yeah, we're going to have a very, very small...
We're going to dip into an aquarium. A little toe in.
And then we're going to be moving over to RuneLabs. I got confused there. We've got Mod Kelpie who's going to be joining us to talk through RuneLabs and what's to come. He's sat waving off the camera. You will see him later. So I guess we'll just kick it off straight away with ports. Player imports. This is version 3 or update number 2 after the release. So came out in 2012, update 2013. No,
you've done your homework.
2013,
kind of.
Update in January 2014, and we're going to have another update in January 2015. Do you planning it to be a yearly thing?
I guess we'll see how it goes. I mean, as long as it's popular, then and there's room to update it, why not?
Cool. You do have the release. You were going to release the release date, weren't you?
Yeah, it's probably not too much of a surprise to people now. It's coming out next week.
So there you go.
Is it? Oh, wait. Finish
Have you got some work to do?
Yeah, we've still got.
It's fine.
It's only in crayon at the moment. We need to kind of obviously make it a second draft.
Okay, cool. And then there's going to be some. What are the key changes? Do you want to describe some of the key changes that are going to be happening this time with ports, or what are some of the expansions happening this time?
Yeah, well, I mean, we covered quite a lot, I think, in the last stream, but just to go over things again. We've got the 3 new adventurers. We showed the Tengu off last time.
That was an interesting one.
Yeah, he got quite the reaction on the stream chat. I think we're going to show one of the others today as well.
That's it, yeah, because the behind the scenes revealed another one, which is the Exile, who's a kind of Goroho. But we've got one still left to reveal. And so we'll reveal the final character. I think we've got some artwork.
We can do it now. So we have the animation on, which we can see right there. Is that?
Yeah, so this is the divination one, the memory.
Do you want to explain the backstory of what you're
going for?
Because you did this awesome monologue last time with the Is it the Tengu?
The Tengu,
yeah. And it was really cool. I really liked your thought process on it. I wondered,
fair enough.
What's the thought process behind
this one though? It's kind of spoilerific. I mean, I think our lore players might take a good guess at who this could be. In like actuality, she's not a being. She's a colony of wisps. So it's a divination colony of Guthics and memories that have kind of coalesced into this form and just has sentience and has become a thing now.
So that's the third and final reveal of the new adventure you'll have.
Yeah.
You mentioned this one's going to be divination. I imagine it have the same requirements as the other skills with your level 90 cap.
Yep, 90 divination, yep.
What are the 2 other skills then for the other 2? So are we giving those out or are we not?
I think we said them, already. The agility for the Tengu, that came from a player power poll. And dungeoneering, for the Goroho, for the Exile.
But yeah, there's a couple of things that we're going to just quickly reveal, I think.
Yes.
That we got our Mod Giara.
So we do have Mod Giara. Do you want to jump across to that now, or do you want to quickly explain what it's going to be showing?
So we've got one reward that we'd like to show.
We showed the magic dual wields last time. So we got the melee ones this time around. We can show those off.
Yep. We're going to show them in games. Last time we showed a concept of the magic. This time we're going to be showing the tier 85 melee rewards in game.
That's right.
And then an epic interface.
Yeah, there's nothing more sexy than an interface, is there? If you want to impress somebody, just get an interface out. So you're going to show that as well. That's actually quite impressive. It allows you to do something that you couldn't previously do in
And
ports.
we'll see that in a second. So we're going to head over to Modgiara.
All right. Hello, Steve is supposed to be here. Come on, Steve. That was your cue, and you missed it. That would not go down well in the theatre, so.
Go on then, what are we looking at?
We are looking at, well, should we start with the swords? As they are my
Well, I
problem.
think, you're showing them off already.
There you
yeah,
go.
You've got them there on your hip.
There you go. Should we go for a little closer look? 'Cause they are pretty damn cool. So we've got these two katana swords. One's a katana, a main hand, and I
Go on,
can't
can you say it?
wakizashi.
All right, that sounds
It's not bad.
right. I don't really know either.
It reads as wakizashi. We're going to go with that. And these are awesome because these are the first swords that sheath on the same side. You went for like you wanted to go for that real samurai feel.
Yeah,
With them.
just try to capture a bit of that, yeah.
And looking at samurai artwork and images on the internet, you found that they always seem to sheath on that one side for the double draw.
Well, presumably if you're right-handed,
Yes,
or right-handed people. But
we are assuming that everyone that is in the Gielinor is right-handed.
I kind of have to. Do you want to also,
We'll sheath them, unsheath them.
yeah, show them
Yeah, so they come out.
wielded?
There you go.
So there's something new we've done this time around, which is to actually leave the sheaths there while
Yes.
you've got the weapons wielded.
So you get that full katana effect. I'm going to go back under here so we can get a really close
And
close look at them.
These pair really well with the Tetsu armor.
Yes. Which I don't have on me, but I do have the goo outfit. I don't know if you wanted to show that as well.
Yeah, good too. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got that ready to go.
Cool. They've
So-
got I love the face, the hilt as well, which has got like the goo, the Tengu symbol for the face from.
Really nice detail there from Mod Demo, I think it was.
Yeah, I believe it was. So you got them in the sheath, they go back in, this quivers stay. And we've got this goo outfit as well, which is a Tengu sort of lookalike outfit that was, again, Mod Demo made. Really cool.
We polled this, I think, last time we did the stream, saying if we could make this as a cosmetic, and it went down really well. So, absolutely, we've done that.
Yeah. Again, these swords match really well with this outfit as well, being sort of all sort of the same theme in the Tengu. Yeah, awesome. So we wanted to show you the ports out of ports interface.
Well, before you move on, so a common question
got some
that's come
questions.
up is whether or not there are going to be any comp requirements for this. There aren't any new ones. The comp requirement is still to complete a trio voyage, and you can already do that now, but we're adding a new trio voyage, so it's a new option.
Yeah.
And the trim is to do all of them, so yes, you'll need to complete the stories if you want to get your trim comp back.
But the stories are
and
awesome.
the swords are tier 85, so
Yeah, tier 85 weapons to match the other Death Later starts.
a little bit quick bit of detail on the swords is you'll need plate and pearls to make these, and for the magic weapons it's koi scales and chi in quite high quantities.
Start saving.
So, and also you've got the portal there, which we showed off on Twitter, I think, last week. Do you want to swing the camera around?
Sure. There you go.
So,
Apparently
yeah.
the microphones are quite quiet, according to the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got we showed the concept, and I believe that Mod Joe showed the model, or did you show the model on Twitter? Somebody showed it on Twitter.
Joe.
But we've got, again, this amazing new portal model by Mod Joe. Probably one of the fanciest and most bling portals we've ever had. It's really cool. This is the Azure portal, so it's made with Azure. I'll change it up to the other one as well as we can. We've got a second portal, which is the terracotta one. Build that, which is really cool as well.
I was surprised by how tall these statues were, but that's a nice option as well.
Yeah,
Okay, do you want to
awesome.
show off the ports outside of
Yeah,
ports?
well, we better leave, haven't we? Because that makes sense. Let's go. Let's go for a little wander over here. There you go. So we're off. We're off at the clans, doing some clan stuff. We want to do our missions, our voyages. So if we open the captain's log, we've got two options. You've got the shipyard, so you can have a look at your ships, edit them, edit your crew that you've got going in there, change your names and stuff. And then you've got the voyage interface, which is the main one that I'm sure people will use. Again, you can obviously add your effects, edit your ships, edit your crew within them, and then send out your voyages. So we've got, let's send out this one. Send it off. Adventure on the High Seas, yes.
Not story voyages.
Not story voyages.
That's the only restriction.
Is it the only one that does
out, story voyages because you've got the cutscenes.
Of course, the cutscenes.
Yeah.
We've got this Clue Scroll voyage, which is a new type of voyage. So we'll send that one as well.
Yeah.
Boom.
There'll be more on those in behind the scenes, I think.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
We've got a standard voyage. That one's softly sea sailing. Let's find a ship. There you go. Send out that one as well. Off we go. And then you can see they're sailing. Yeah, and we're still doing the activity we were previously doing.
Yep.
Which is really
That
nice.
should really free you up, so
Yeah.
you can do ports wherever you like.
Was that Mod Pie that helped work on that?
That was Mod Doctor.
Mod Doctor.
So you can thank him on Twitter if you like.
I'm sure he'd love that. Send him all the tweets. Cool. I think that's pretty much what we've got to show for ports.
Yeah, that's been fun, I think.
Yeah. Back to you guys on the sofa.
Okay, so we're back, and we're going to move into the 200th quest, which is the big one.
Yeah, it's the Big Mother. Yes, it's the one of the big ones for the year in terms of quests.
Yeah.
Obviously celebrating reaching 200 quests in total, which is a massive achievement.
Yeah,
So,
I wanted to quickly give the disclaimer again that we would never spoil storyline or anything
would
like
we?
that.
I know, we wouldn't.
We never would.
We wouldn't.
But we're going to show off some of the environment as well as some pretty cool concepts that you've provided for us today. And then we're going to talk about sort of the backstory and where it came from. So 200 is creeping up quick. We're on 198 in the game at the minute, I believe.
Yep.
We have another quest coming, which we've already
Talked about
revealed.
Zamorak Heist.
Yeah, Zamorak Heist. Already talked about that a little bit. And then I imagine fairly shortly after we will get the 200th quest, which will be pretty damn cool. I'm going to compare it to number 100. 100 was a big quest. So if you don't already know, number 100 was Recipe for Disaster. Really big quest, broke up into lots of bits of story, etc.
Yeah.
Are you going for the same theme this time with number 200?
Go for it.
We're going for a similar structure, so it'll be a special quest, there'll be multiple sub-quests. There's going to be some differences to how, in that these will actually be distinct quests. So you'll be going to a new area where you'll have characters that are quest givers that will start these quests, and they'll have the icons over their heads in the map. And so the sense of going to this alternate rock where there are these quests that you've never done before, and you're getting all that done. In terms of the amount of quests, it's about half of what there were in Recipe for Disaster.
Okay. But we're still going for like a really special one for 200 then?
Yeah, there's a few quests to play. I think one of the things we've liked a lot about the quest is that notion that you're not allowed your items in there. So it's almost like you're starting afresh as a character. You know, you're working hard to get your bronze armor and putting that on and things like that. And that's what I like about it. It forces everybody to start on almost level playing field. You've still got your levels. But with the quests that we have, do we want to list them? Can we list them?
Sure. So there's an intro quest, similar to another Cook's quest that started off Recipe for Disaster, that gets you into this alternate rock.
So that's so if you go back to like the original, you said it was based off the original design, where you do you put the ashes in your gnome blast, and then you know learn about the storyline and all the.
There isn't actually a fetch quest in this one.
Okay.
I did propose it initially, but you weren't very keen on the idea. So
I ruined it. There could have been a one small favour in
yeah, but there's quite a lot of that sort of mechanics though in the other quests.
Yeah.
But this is more of a quick introduction to the story to justify the access to it.
And then you're opened up. Then it branches out.
Okay,
and then you get your Shield of Arav,
And-
Demon Slayer.
Yeah, so the intro quest doesn't require anything other than membership, as that lets you get in there, explore the world. For all the other sub-quests, you'll need to have completed that quest in our own world in order to progress with it. So there'll be a Shield of Arav there, you'll need to have done Shield of Arav. That's our novice quest. Then there's Demon Slayer. This Demon Slayer will be an intermediate quest which requires Shadow of the Storm, because in this world, Dinath managed to do what he intended to do, and Agwith has come through and all that kind of stuff. So the story elements that were in the sequel are going to be in this quest. That's our intermediate slot. Then there's Defender of Rock taking the experience slot, and our conclusion quest is Curse of Arav, which is a master quest.
Cool. I don't know, you said Shadow of the Storm. It reminds me of who's the dude who stands outside? You program his brain. Is it in Uza the ruin?
The Golem. That's a prerequisite
Yeah.
for Shadow of the Storm.
Yeah.
We're going to see the golem.
Well,
through.
I think it leads to something that we've really enjoyed doing, which is that this new Varrock kind of, obviously all the bad guys won, which means we get to do some terrible things to some lovely people. So some lovely people you might know from Varrock have had made terrible ends, basically. And we get to sprinkle things around New Varrock. You'll see it in a minute because we're going to do a guided tour. But there's gravestones, so you can examine the gravestones to see who might have died. We've done some fun things in New Varrock Palace, which we can't show because that's a bit of a spoiler. But we basically had so much fun doing kind of fan servicey things, really.
You say Varrock, just to reiterate, that was the winning option on a poll that we did in game, which is
that was as was the poll to choose the quests.
Yep.
So the winning two options in that were
the top slot was I Don't Mind, which gives us a lot of latitude. That's great.
Yep, which is we got Curse of Arav in there, which was an addition based on the poll, and
then it was Gertrude's Cat, and then Shield of Arav.
Right, and so we put Shield of Arav in there as well. We've got, we're talking over the achievement, a kind of achievement diary feel to it. So like a reason to go around the city. We were discussing that today because we were having discussions about what to do with the last remaining weeks of development. And so it's going to be more of a feel of kind of exploring that city and checking off a few things to see, basically.
All right, cool.
So it's going to be reasons to navigate it and really give that feel that it's a city, not necessarily a quest.
That sounds really good. What about the length of this one? So we've compared it a little bit to RFD with half the number of subsections once you're through the door, once you're into it. Is it still going to be similar kind of length?
Well, we're aiming for each of the sub-quests to be equal, if not more than the length of the original quest, which I think we've achieved so far.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you play Recipe for Disaster now, we were looking at the numbers, it's kind of like, 4 or 5 hours average.
If you've done it before, you can blast. True. They got their walkthroughs and things. But it's going to be south of that, it's going to be a little shorter than that. Okay.
But we are aiming for that same special quest feel where you're kind of navigating between a number of different sub-quests.
And is this going to be one you advise to definitely do without a guide? Will it be more fun without a guide?
Oh, they always are.
Can we talk about
when are they ever more fun?
Can we talk about the special feature of this?
Yeah,
quest?
Go for it.
Okay. Assuming that something doesn't go horribly wrong technically, the entire 200th quest is going to be replayable. So you complete the whole thing, you're able to reset it and play through all those quests again. And there'll be a lot of content in there that you could choose alternate paths with as you go along. Things you might have missed. Choosing your gang in Shield of Arav, for example, you could try.
So you could try out the other route, basically.
Yes. Yeah. So you can work through it multiple times. There'll be rewards that you can unlock as a result of doing replays. So that should add more longevity to the content.
It's a very different mechanic as well. Something we haven't really seen.
Not stolen from Broken Home at all. No, all original.
So one thing I will say is we're going to go through some concept images. We're then going to have a little, you said a guided tour?
Yeah.
So we'll go for a bit of guided tour.
I think what Stu and what Yara are going to take us through.
Of Varrock.
Yeah.
But then we're going to come back for some questions, and we'll bring Mod Rowley back on as well.
Rather than exiling him.
When we go for the guys, we'll bring Mod Rowley back on, then we can do some questions. Are you happy to take any questions on
More than happy.
If you can ask any questions you like in the chat, or you can ask them on Twitter with the hashtag RSTV. You might bat them away if they are going to give a bit of a spoiler.
If they're too difficult.
Yeah,
that's generally what we do.
If they're going to spoil something, they're not going to be answered, but you feel free to ask any questions you like, and we will be asking them for the team who's made the quest, developed the quest. So first off, we'll go through some of the concept images.
Concept arts and models,
If we start off with Arav.
Arav.
And that will be up in just a second. Awkward pause. No, like this. And there we have Arav. And while Arav's on screen, while you talk about it, we can bring Mod Rowley back.
Yes. Our own team's Arav.
So those of you who have access to the Premier Club will have seen some of these images already. But we're planning to graphically update Arav as part of the quest. Though long term, we'll be updating the prerequisite quests, and unfortunately we're not going to have enough time to implement that at this stage.
That's true.
But we aimed with these redesigns to maintain the silhouette of the original character, just try to fill in the details on it. So hopefully it'll go down well.
Yeah.
If there are concerns about these concepts, and we'll be seeing the actual models themselves soon as well, let us know if there's anything you'd like tweaked.
Yeah, we're interested in feedback, absolutely.
You always have to take on board some feedback.
Oh, yeah, we'll take it on board.
The Arav Shield is one that we have next.
Yeah, the old Shield
I really like this one.
Yeah, so we wanted to keep the general feel of the Shield of Arav, so you notice that there's still a kind of break in the middle where it's in two halves. But the problem with the Shield of Arav probably was that it looked a bit like a block of fudge.
I was going to say, you just said, Mol Osborne, you wanted to keep the original feel. I swear, originally you got like a small white disc broken out. There was nothing but a white circle or semicircle.
Yeah, but we wanted to feel like something
more
you'd wield, you know, that you probably wander into battle with rather than put on a slice of toast.
And particularly that Arav would wield. I mean, it might fit okay on Domintheus, but when you consider the size of Arav, you would want something that it would look like a butler on his hand, as opposed to something that's decently going to protect him.
Yeah, so you may well be using this. This might be more than just a kind of item you shove in a museum.
Mm-hmm. Interesting to hear. The next thing we have is some of the environment. I know we're going to go over the environment. We had some environment and also the Varrock fountain. So those will come up in just a second. Quickly talk us through the guided tour. What's the guided tour thing? You're just going to take us around Varrock?
Yeah, well, I think we'll start in the Varrock Square and just work out from there, just give you a feel for what this alternate Varrock works like.
Cool.
So it's going to have a very different feel to it, I think.
Oh, check out that cheeky concept art. Love it. So this is a little sneak for those Clan Cup winners of you, or 4 or 8 of you. So this is Lornab.
Yeah.
One of the teams that won the Quest competition in Clan Cup was Team Lornab, and we are determined, or have been determined, to stick the old god in. So there you have it. It's you can see in the museum. Plays a pertinent part in the quest.
Yeah, Lornab, the Hydra god, is massive, so obviously wouldn't put the whole thing in there. So this is one of his heads petrified when he was killed by Zaros, which has been excavated by the museum.
Yeah. The next one we had was the Varrock fountain, which I guess we will see in the guide tour, but very, very different from the original fountain. It's changed a few times, that fountain. We had the fountain in the middle originally, then the kind of 4 pillars with a walkway through the middle.
This is kind of reminiscent of the older fountain, but instead of kind of people bowing down, we have skeletons. And we have Zemorigal in the middle, because of course Zemorigal is the tyrant of this world, so will have stuck himself in the middle of it like any good tyrant does. You'll also notice there's kind of a portal of some kind, as if this might be an entry point, perhaps.
Interesting to hear. So some mini spoilers potentially there.
Yeah, I'm very mindful.
Next one coming up, we'll go into next the Zemeagle. How do you? I can't. I've asked you this 3 times.
I think we'll just say it how you say it. That's brilliant. Zmergle. Here's Zmergle.
So we have a few concepts with one in game as well. And do you want to talk about a bit of the backstory of this character then, or?
Zemorigal, well, he's a necromancer. He's known particularly for raising the dead. He's the nemesis to Arav, and I think that's really the heart story behind Varrock. Yeah, the antagonism between them, the fall of Arav. With this one again, we tried to maintain the silhouette of the character, because Zemorigal, as he is, just looks so damn cool. He's got those big, powerful shoulders and the hood and the scary face, particularly when he had his all skeletal face before the ritual.
Yeah. We want to bring, we put some kind of greens in there from the gems, so that's it brought into the environment as well. So we put a lot of braziers about there, we've got that green. But we want to make Zemorigal feel more like he's a hybrid of melee and magic, so there's a bit of kind of armour versus magic there.
We also have an animation of him, I believe, coming up. So have an animation.
Maybe a bit of swagger.
Yeah, we'll see in just a second. And he's sat on a throne, I believe.
Sorry, not revealing anything.
And okay, there it is. There we go.
And a little scratch of his face.
You can see. We're quite far away, but you can see he's scratching his face there.
That's the final model of the throne, obviously.
ready to go straight.
Slice of bread.
Does look a little bit like a slice of bread.
Yeah.
And then finally, the last concept we have, the dark light and the silver light. Now you mentioned the Shadow of the Storm and that kind of series. That's where the dark light is where you make it, you kind of grind your mushrooms, don't you? Add it to the sword.
Something like that, yeah.
You've got to grind those mushrooms.
That's the recipe.
I can't remember exactly what you
like
do.
it. Whenever I'm going to sit down to work, it's like, right, time to grind some mushrooms. So we've updated those Silverlight and Darklight there.
Yeah, so these are updates of the existing models that we're hoping to put them into the other content in the future, hopefully as ninja updates.
Yeah, but what I like about Darklight is that it looks like it's been dipped in ichor of a demon rather than just been painted, so I do prefer that.
It does look a lot more dramatic.
Yeah.
So I can see we have a lot of questions down here, but first, if we go through do you want to go through the guided tour?
Yeah,
and then we will come back and we'll answer a load of questions.
Yeah, we'll make it swift, go to the greatest hits.
We're going to be heading over back to Modgiara.
Yo, we're back. We're in a totally different part of the world. Hey, Stu.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
awesome. We are in New Varrock. You'll probably enjoy.
Oh,
Where
yes.
do you want to go first?
So let's talk about the actual square for a while, I guess.
Sure.
So could you pull up out a little bit, just so
Sure.
you can get a feel for the skybox and a few things in there. So it's got a very different feel to the Vrock that we're familiar with. It's a lot more dark and oppressive. This is a world that has been conquered by Zemmeregal. He has these green necromantic braziers that are used to maintain the zombie population of Vrock. We have the new fountain that you saw in the concept art that will, obviously that's not the final model, but we'll be improving that in the future. And Zemmeregal himself, or at least an image of Zemmeregal that he projects from the palace, is here as well, so you can get an idea of what he looks like in game.
Oh yeah, he's really cool.
You'll notice that there are like propaganda posters on the walls. If you particularly rotate back
I'll
towards,
head over this way.
yeah, that'll do.
This corner's got loads.
Yeah. So we kind of wanted to get a feel of like a totalitarian society where he's oppressing people, and he's got these propaganda posters up to try and change their perceptions. And
Zombies are awesome.
zombies are indeed awesome.
Being a zombie is awesome, in fact. Look at that.
Yeah, and
Great.
every opportunity to put his face on things. So there are statues of Zemmeregal. He's got his face on posters. He's got frescoes in people's homes. Very egotistical character, and he revels in that.
Any good dictator is. Really.
Yeah.
And he's pretty good. He's managed to conquer this whole world before.
Yeah,
and
it's an odd thing. Everyone here is essentially being converted into a zombie, and that's actually not a bad life, because you don't need food anymore, you don't need to sleep. Most of your basic human needs are taken care of. And
frees up more time for XP gains.
yeah, and with the power that Zemmeregal has, he's protecting the world from outsiders. So it's Vrock is one of the safer conclaves. It's an enclave of safety within the world.
But not for everyone. Should we go to the graveyard?
Oh yes.
Let's go to the graveyard
So
first.
it does have a tragic history to it.
I'm going to zoom in.
There was a rather nasty massacre inflicted by a certain demon, which rather brutally eviscerated quite a large proportion of the citizens of New Varrock.
I love these zombies. You come to the graveyard and you instantly get that horror movie feel. And the birds. Luckily, they're only level 1, so I'm not too scared of them. Here we are in the graveyard. Should we have a look at some of the gravestones?
Yeah, sure.
Any idea which one's your favourite?
What's that one that's rather light coloured at the back? That dwarfy one.
Godric Halberdan, the finest Crassian zombie dwarf you could ever hope to meet.
So he
Rest in
met a
peace.
sticky end in Ashdale, it seems.
So there's anyone that is sort of a lot of sort of really famous characters. Wally's gravestone. So anyone that's sort of dead has a gravestone, really.
Yeah, so we can acknowledge the history of that character.
See if you spot anyone you recognise on stream viewers. But all the big, tall gravestones have an exam in. The little ones don't. They're just to make it seem like there's lots of people dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. But yeah, and then we put some zombies in here. This bit's really cool. I love this little area. We can have spend hours like exploring and having a look at who died and how they died. And we'll go back to the square. There's all the gates are shut off, so we can't go anywhere. And there's lots of dead guards. The guard models are in now as well. These are really cool.
Yeah, so the Rock Guard are actually decent in this version. They're the premier zombie type that Zemmeregal's managed to develop after experimenting on his other zombies. So they are pretty tough, and they can take you down hard. But they've got some very cool drops. So you might have to team up with your friends to take them on.
They really want to eat me.
Yeah, they really don't like you.
No.
They know you're an outsider.
Yeah. Okay, we're not going to tackle them right now because we don't have any stuff. And even though I've got a lot of money, it's not worth anything here.
Yeah, so the idea is that you won't be able to take any of your own items into this world. A lot of things that you're accustomed to, like prayers, familiars, will be restricted here. So it's setting everything at a level playing field. Because the problem we have with a lot of quests is that you can just buy all the items you need on the Grand Exchange. You can just go in there with your Drygor weapons and obliterate content that was made for players at a much lower level. So I wanted to make it like the first experience that we had first playing these quests in Vrock, where you were a new player and you had to do a lot more things yourself. You actually had a reason to talk to these characters. There is no Grand Exchange in this world, so you would have to actually communicate with shopkeepers and buy stuff from them, kill zombies in order to get basic items to sell them, and you're at
So
a much lower level of economy.
It really is sort of like starting from afresh.
Yeah.
You've got to get your own food. You've got to get your own weapons. I'm assuming we have to start bronze again. We've got to pickpocket stuff, I guess. That's
Yep, those are all options.
We haven't got much access to being able to craft anything there, do we?
There's a limited amount of resource because
Zombie cow.
yes, indeed, because Vrock is principally a trading city, so we quite tightly control the resources that are available to you. So you'd probably be able to get bronze items, tier 1 stuff pretty easily, but you'd have to do some serious hard work in order to get steel armor, which would be really, really powerful by comparison.
Awesome. We've managed to wander around the south end of the city, and we've ended up in the southeast corner.
Yes.
Do you want to have a look in here?
Yeah, so this, I don't mind it spoiling a little bit here. So this is where Zemmeregal has restricted Delrith to a certain quadrant. He's sealed him behind this magical ward, so that when he occupied, he was able to protect the people from this massacring demon.
Awesome. But he still puts a propaganda up.
Well, yeah,
Just
you also
to hope he can
got to
Delrith.
keep Delrith remembering.
Yeah, remember who the boss is.
Yep.
Should we hop inside? Do you want to
Why
start here? Pillories. We'll go to the pillories. Let's run to the pillories. Let's go
Okay.
there. This is one of my favourite parts as well.
Yeah, there's lots. We try to put lots of little nods to existing content. If you've played through these quests before, or you've done a lot of questing, little visual gags here and there to appreciate. I asked some players what characters they might like to see in this alternate world, and one of the highest ranking ones was Hazelmere, so he's there in the cage, having tomatoes thrown at him.
I was crossing tomatoes. Right. This was at the request of me and Modsera. We're like, we can get these tomatoes. We can't throw them at the cage people.
Yeah,
so
I should mention that everything in this area is bespoke. So we haven't every character that you have, we've written new dialogue for them. Every interaction is unique to this version of this world.
Yeah, take that. Nice.
Splat. And also we have Pauline Polaris, who is quite legendary for Live Farm, and my personal one was Meg, because she gives me lots of rune crafting lamps.
And we're going to throw tomatoes at all of them, because why not? Hooray! Awesome. Excellent. All right, we're not allowed to show the palace, but we can go and have a quick look at the lawn lab. Is he in game? Is he there yet?
Yeah, he should be. Hopefully they just finished texturing him today.
Well, I only booted this world 5 minutes before I came downstairs, so let's, fingers crossed, let's hope he's here. What are we going to see? Oh,
So yeah, quite a sizable fragment of Lornab.
And
with the 2 Quest Cup winners, we didn't just want to have a token nod to the winning clans. We wanted to incorporate them on the critical path of the quest, so that'll be important, as will something referring to the scrying pool in another quest.
Wicked. Got zombified Orlando Smith here, walking around the museum. Then we can't go anywhere else, really. We're not allowed to show the palace. That's off limits. We've got a question up on the screen.
Requirements needed for this quest, someone has asked. Not sure which quest they're referring to. As I said on the sofa, there are multiple sub-quests. Each quest will require the quest that you've played previously. So if you've finished Curse of Arav, you should have unlocked all of the quests that you need to complete.
The entry quest to actually get access to New Varrock doesn't have any requirements, I don't believe.
No, just membership to start it.
So you can come in, you can start exploring around, and then if you haven't quite got to Curse of Arav, and you can maybe start to earn yourself some Zemo marks, the currency of this world, and then maybe when you come back, you can buy yourself straight into iron.
Cool. Another question which has been asked by Miss 000: are there any big post-quest rewards in this form of cool items or repeatable events? So there are a fair few rewards. You'll have access to a reward shop at the end of the quest. You'll have some of the currency that you can use to purchase it from your initial playthrough, and then you'll be able to play through it additional times for more currency if you wanted to get all of them. Quite a lot of them are cosmetics, so it's not like you're going to feel like you have to grind this thing over and over again.
I almost forgot about my favourite character that you've done. I'm going to go find him.
I don't want to spoil everything, but yeah, he's quite funny.
He's my favourite. You can just see him there.
Ali9805 asks, is it a Grandmaster? It's a special quest composed of multiple subquests, and the highest level quest, the conclusion quest, is a master quest.
Do you want to talk about banks?
Yeah, that's another thing. So as part of the whole self-sufficiency, there's no grand exchange, and you don't have a bank. The banks have been seized by Zimrugel as his personal treasure vaults. So you're going to have to carefully manage your inventory, your worn inventory. That's all you have to work with.
Yep. And everything you have is saved on exit.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a clever system. You managed to sort of get going there. So we can... Anything else you wanted to show us, Stu?
I think that about covers it for the moment.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be questions.
Maybe if we just open up the world map and just show them where the start points are for the quests.
So yeah, so we've got no GE. So
yep.
we've got...
So Shield of Arif will start over in the museum. I don't know why I'm pointing because you guys can't see it, but Demon Slayer starts with Gypsy Aris in Rock Square, and then we have Defender of Rock on the left and Curse of Arif on the right in the Rock Palace.
Sweet. So it's that nice 2, sort of 1 and 2, and then the other ones when you get access to the palace.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Excellent.
Someone asked what happens if you die. It's all safe combat. So you'll respawn safely at Rock Square.
Wicked.
Is this just a quest or an actual game? It's a quest, but it's a very sizable area that you won't be able to do those quests in. I think it should have a very different feel from everything you've seen before.
Wicked. Back to you guys, I think. Yeah.
And we're back, and we have just a few quick questions before we go into a really small topic of aquariums and vampires. A little strange combination. Just quick ones. Will the rock change after the quest? You know, like after, I believe it's Ritual of Margaret, where Edgeville changes permanently. Will that happen after the quest? Because you've shown obviously a different side of the rock.
Yeah, this is an alternate reality, like a pocket dimension that you go to, which is independent of our own world. So you'll resolve that reality. So it doesn't actually have any impact on our own world. As such, there's no post-quest dialogue that it might impact or anything like that. It's
the
very
tragedy of it is you're achieving things, but nobody will know about it in your own world. Imagine that.
You say you're in your own world. Does that mean you won't need a partner for the Shield of Arav alternate?
That's correct, yes. So you won't require a partner for it. But we are trying to encourage group questing as a general notion within here. So there's hardly any instancing. We instance a couple of boss fights. That's about it. Yeah. We wanted to try to make this a series of quests that you can play with your friends, and particularly with you having to start from scratch with acquiring your items, where you can trade items to your friends, gang up to take on guards, that kind of thing. Make it more cooperative.
Sounds really, really cool. Thank you for the cool little spoilers on that. That's pretty nice. We're going to move on to aquariums real quickly, and then we're going to go into RuneLabs with Mod Kelpie. So aquarium's going to be really fast, isn't it? It won the last poll.
Yeah, everything seems to be moving so quickly with it.
Yeah,
it has just finished. But already we need to get on with things, and so I've done a design for it. Yeah. They've let me put pen to paper, which is always dangerous. And I think one of the things we'd really like to do with it is, like with Elf City, is to put a design document out there and get some feedback.
So let the players have a look at the design document, give some feedback. And
it worked so well with Elf City. It was great. We got some cracking stuff, and it changed for the better. There's so many things in there that were player owned. So we're going to try the same with Aquarium, but we think we're still going to blow the minds with what we've got.
So for those who don't know, the aquarium is another house, another area.
Yeah, I mean, it's very provisional at the moment. We're still at the point where kind of wafting it under Mark's nose, that sort of thing, and at any point he could get it. But the notion is that, okay, your POH room is quite small, but you would go through a vault in the bottom, and then you would be in your own aquarium. We're talking like stomping around in your underwater gear, in your Brian Saber, that sort of thing. And just wandering about in your aquarium with sharks kind of moving about you, which is really nice. That's what I wanted to achieve with the aquarium.
And we also had a poll just for just to gauge interest that we're going to do on the stream. It's a straw poll. I believe Mod Simon will put it in the chat for us, or we'll get it in the chat for us. So you can answer that one as well, and we'll come back to it probably just before.
The intention of that poll is, we're going to add a new fish. It'll be really interesting to see if people could have some input on what that fish might be. I mean, can't promise anything, but I'm really interested in theme, what people like.
And then the final thing we're going to bring up today, very, very quick mention, was just the word vampires. It's won a poll as well, so...
Yeah, it's hard not to kind of talk to us Guardians without, mentioning vampires, because obviously we won the poll, which we're kind of... Yeah, I think the team was pretty chuffed with that. Mod Anna has produced basically some kind of bullet points of what she wants to achieve with the quest.
And the reason for Mod Anna is because...
She's produced Branches of Darkmare,
Yep.
you know, legendary quests, great, really, really good quests, great respect for it in the community. And so we want to have her on board, and so she's going to be helping with, I think it's dialogue.
Yeah,
boss.
there's a few things that she's earmarked that she definitely wants to do.
I'm going to ask one question. I'll give you one question for Vampires because it's very much in the future. Are we going to see Castle Drakan or Castle Draken?
Well, we're still, I mean, can we just say yes? I think we just did.
Yes, yes.
Okay, is that like a could be a yes, or are you looking to do
Yeah,
it? You might do it. You
We
would
are
like
Team
it.
Castle. Everything we produce has a castle or a palace or city in it somewhere. So,
But to be fair, it's not designed yet. I mean, we've got Anna's overview, what she really wants to do, and we're going to stick to that, I think, as best we can. But, you know, it's early days yet, so
yeah,
it could all change. Who knows?
And so again,
more in next live streams, I guess. Yeah, it'll come.
in a live stream near the time, I guess we'll
Yeah,
go over
yeah.
some more similar to what we just did there. We'll show nothing that will spoil the quest, but we'll show some cool little things around the area. Anyway, we're now going to jump into RuneLabs discussion. We have mod Kelpie. I'm not sure. Are we all going to
Is it going to fit?
Yeah, we'll.
Sorry, I'm
we'll
just saying you're a
fit.
white boy.
We'll all fit. We're joined by mod Kelpie. If you'd like to say hello.
Hello.
What do you do, mod Kelpie? I
Hey,
guess everyone else describes what
I'm
they do.
a project manager for the RuneScape team. I've been helping out with these teams. Dave's team, the Guardians.
You suggest ideas as well.
Yeah,
You wander in and say,
some poor ideas. But,
I don't know, you can see most of them on that RuneLabs video. There's some crackers.
Yeah, yeah.
Camel
If
stuffing
you,
is you,
if
isn't
you
it?
go into RuneLabs and you haven't got any ideas, go through the video we launched today, pause it at certain points, you find brilliant ideas.
They're all you've championed all
Yeah,
those
I had to
ideas,
fill up.
haven't you?
I had to fill up the
Is it
interface.
camel stacking is one of
Yeah,
those?
that's my idea. That is already been added. But if you pause it, you can find some other ones. But yeah, I had to fill up the interface. But anyway, RuneLabs.
So we're going to go into RuneLabs. Release today. Was it a
Yes, it was
successful launch?
Yeah,
so far?
about 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago, we launched it. In my opinion, very successful launch. I think in the first hour we had around about 450 ideas.
I saw them flooding in, refreshing, and boom, next one's
Yeah,
so
I was
much fun.
I was a bit nervous going into it, but yeah, some really good ideas in there. I felt that we've seen already. About top 24% have all been combat related. However, in terms of wish list, quests have appeared the most in the top 10 of quests.
I saw one for a druid, a really weird one I didn't expect to see. Do you know the druid circle in which was originally taboo?
Well, kind of a sequel to
Yeah, and I was
The
like,
circle.
I wasn't expecting
It's like a
anything
conclusion
like
quest.
that. Yeah,
to the one quest.
Druid
Well,
circle.
yeah.
Or something.
it's a very quick quest as well, like the one that starts it off. So
Nice.
I don't know what the conclusion to it would be.
Yeah, we've seen some Rite of Passage was there and God Sagas, some of the ones you'd expect, but also some kind of newly created, like there was a Maskiner quest, the Demon of Canifis. So it's really nice left field ones that I hope gain momentum.
And how many sailing?
We haven't seen in the first hour. There was no sailing, which I was really surprised about.
How long will that last
Really
now?
surprised. Not long, I doubt. It's probably. I've been sat in here for the last hour, so I imagine by the time we go upstairs, it'll be up there and top of the wish list and whatnot. But yeah.
So the reason we have the Guardians on, as well as talking about RuneLabs, is because you're going to be behind update number 1, as it were, that's going to come out of RuneLabs. Do you want to explain a bit how we're going to work RuneLabs into the game, how the ideas are going to work, time frame, etc.?
Yeah, so today we obviously launched RuneLabs. For now, all you can do is submit ideas and add ideas to your own wish list. Next week, you'll be then able to support other people's ideas. And then the week after that, we'll take the top ideas and that will go to a player power poll. And whatever wins that, Team The Guardians will be developing.
We're forced to do it. Yeah.
5 months, yeah.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, I think.
So do you get any? Oh well, I guess do you get any say as who gets the say in picking the top ideas that will go into the poll?
So, on the website, on the RuneLabs website, there's pages there for guidelines and rules. All ideas must follow the rules, of course. Each month we'll provide a criteria, and all updates need to. Well, you can suggest anything of any size. About quests, combat, anything you want. However, each month we'll set a certain criteria, and that'll be
For us, it was medium-sized piece of content, but we kind of left it quite open.
The project owners of the various teams who are developing the content will be deciding what the scope is, what the criteria based on what time they have available to do it within. And then over the month, people will be able to support ideas. We'll review them and make sure that the top 20 or so probably all fit within
that criteria.
Fit that criteria, and the top ones will then go into a poll. But that doesn't mean any of the other stuff gets deleted or anything. They'll still be in the system.
They might be useful for
and then,
the next kind of
each month the criteria will change. So it's a medium size now. That will go up and down. Some months we'll have small, some months we'll have large, some extra large, and so on.
So Threevil has asked, when will the first idea be implemented?
So June.
June
is...
there'll obviously be a delay because you suggest now, then it'll be polled.
I mean,
that's only the point at which, after it's polled, is only the point at which we know that, okay, that's the idea that we're going to go with. And then a team has to develop it, QA it, and get released.
And knowing us as well.
There will be a time lag until the first one comes into the game. But
we'll really want to involve the community as well. You'll see things like we're talking and put stuff on the forums to try to get ideas to contribute to that designer, even though it won the poll as well. So there'll be more.
Are you going to do anything different with the... So you obviously make a lot of updates right now. You're developing a lot of updates. For example, the ones we've just discussed, aquariums and the 200 quests. The update that comes from RuneLabs, the one that comes your way, are you going to treat it any differently? Are you going to try and do even more player feedback with it, or just the same as the ones you do now, the updates you do now?
Yeah, certainly personally from our team has done a lot of kind of design documents out there and a lot of talking on the forums. That's definitely going to continue, and even more so with the first RuneLabs update. We've kind of given it a little bit more time, considering it's a medium, just for that kind of exchange, that kind of communication. There's not much more beyond that because we don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
If it's a quest, it might be quite defined, or you just don't know. Yeah, that's the excitement of it.
And just go back to a point about the time it takes and stuff. We're very much aware that we've launched RuneLabs and it hasn't got all the features we would like it to have. The reason why we launched it without those features is because of that time it takes to develop the content. Is better getting we felt it was better getting the ideas now and start working on them rather than spending another couple of months or whatever adding more features to RuneLabs and then launching and then not getting any player suggestions until much later on in the year.
Ultimately then we've held back on features so that we can get players' ideas into the game sooner, or started flowing into the game sooner with actual RuneLabs updates. Mm-hmm. After the update goes out, will then updates follow every month with each month's criteria, or will there be different delays on whenever the updates will be, or is the goal to try and pick one up every month?
We will get into a routine of every month we'll have one poll and one release. Obviously, as I said, we won't release any until June. But once we're into June, you'll see one poll, one release. I think it's a good routine to get into every 5 months. You vote on something, and then 5 months later, you see it into the game. That might change in the future.
It's dependent
but
on the scope
that's our plan at this time, and we'll see how it goes. Pretty much.
Cool. I've just noticed a comment that came on Twitter that said, "The Guardians doesn't sound that great. Might I suggest calling yourselves Guardians of Gielinor?" And the reason I actually read that out is because I said that before the the Guardians of Gielinor.
It's like everybody's assuming that's what we're basing it on. There's Legend of the Guardians, the Owl movie. There's,
Would you let that go?
the World Guardians. All right.
Space.
Mod Ollie, cheekily, we sent this round an email to all of the teams, and Molly said that the name was too cool for us, which immediately we all went over and beat him up on the spot, but it was kind of rude.
It's a sign it's cool enough.
Yeah, I think it's, is it cool enough for us? That's the question. Sorry, that moved somewhere else, didn't it?
Yeah, that was my fault. I can't exactly. We do have a question though from a Wild Dan asking, what if the most supported top 5 or so are of so obscure they can't be done? And I guess that comes down to the moderating.
Yeah, so we will, so myself and Dave for the first one, since his team are going to be making the update, Mod Dean as well, and perhaps more stakeholders, will be at least daily for now, reviewing the top ideas and ensuring that they are ideas that fit the criteria, fit the rules, are doable. If they're obscure, can't be done, they're going going to be removed, or maybe not removed, depending on what it actually is. They might be that they're just removed from that current competition, so you can't support them any longer for that month.
Because they wouldn't be selected anyway.
Or if they go against the rules, then they'll just be playing closed, and you won't be able to support them ever again.
Cool. And so the medium update is the one that's going to be coming out first.
Yes.
You had on the where the criteria is listed on RuneLabs, so you can suggest your ideas right now on RuneLabs.
Mm-hmm.
You gave some suggestions or some examples of what a medium update was.
Yes.
Do you want to go over again, just so everyone knows?
We've got Gathixian Caches, Calfight King,
and
Shadow over Ashdale.
Yes.
That was it. Yeah, those are the three.
I believe
You wrote
also from you. I believe Soul Reaper was also on that one.
Yep, Soul
medium.
Reaper as well. It's just to try to give an example across many different content types.
Yeah,
It's like
so
how can you compare?
You've got like a D&D in there. There's a kind of quest with the Shadow over Ashdale, like restart kind of area, and then a boss. So I guess just suggestions along that line.
Yeah, exactly. Because we don't want to limit people. I mean, we may be the Guardians with the experience of doing quests, but we don't want that to necessarily direct you.
Okay.
Yeah, scope is very much how long it's going to take the team to develop it, and so keep in mind if something might take the content developers quite a short time to develop, but if it requires a lot of graphics, that's going to take them a lot longer, and that will increase the scope. Even though it might be a small for these guys, it might be a large for the graphics.
And as Garni a rework or something.
Yeah, so that's something you need to keep in mind really in terms of scope.
Okay, well I guess I'll let you say, is there anything else you want to mention on RuneLabs while we're...
Just a bit more information. So tomorrow from 5 to 6, there's going to be a forum Q&A, and the topic's going to be about what makes a great idea. And myself, Mod Osborne, along with Mod Raskas, are going to be there. Mod Raskas is the producer in the web team. His team obviously made RuneLabs. Then on Thursday, from 5 to 6, we have a Reddit AMAA.
Ask me almost anything.
On the future of RuneLabs. Again, me and Osborne.
Yeah, getting about.
And then again on Friday from 4 to 5, we'll have a tweet chat, informal chat about RuneLabs as a whole. So if there's any final questions that you haven't had answered, drop in then. And hopefully over the space of this week, we'll get all your answers, get all your questions answered. But there is a new RuneLabs subsection on the forums. Myself, I'll be present in that quite a bit, so feel free to ask questions in there as well.
So there you go. And then for feedback, I guess, on all the content we covered today, anywhere in particular where you've posted your threads? I know you often post threads.
Oh, you're going to make us create a thread, aren't you? Yeah, why not? Going to future updates, I'll post a thread up there and people can talk about the stuff from this live stream.
Cool, sounds really good. That's it for this week, but we'll be joined next week by a team that doesn't have a name yet. But Mod Chris Al.
Team 1, yeah.
Mod Chris Al and his
I think we might need to stick with Team 1. Their
team
ideas
number 1, now we've got...
Their ideas are pretty bad.
We'll join with those. But again, thank you very much for joining us today and
Absolute
going over
pleasure.
some of your awesome updates.